So once again, we're here in Blue Sky, Los Angeles. I was visiting the Alienware training facility, had some lunch at Jersey Mike's, and I figured, you know what? I have a bit of a sweet tooth craving, maybe some dessert. And so 3 different people told me to visit this donut shop right here behind me. This is Sidecar Donuts, apparently the best in SoCal. So I want to come over here and see what all the hype is about. I'm going to order the dozen most popular donuts and rank them from 12 to 1, worst to best, to see if it truly is the best donut in SoCal. As usual, this is hungry as f. Let's check it out. Upon walking in 3 feet into this line, I'm greeted by the smell of lovely fried dough, and I'm looking at the display they have here, and I see an assortment of donuts, and I guess some flavors and toppings I wouldn't have actually expected. I see some Huckleberry stuff over there, so clearly this is one of those shops that's kind of push the envelope on what they can put on a donut, and I guess if we're ordering a dozen, it seems that each one's going to be one I've probably never had before, so I'm looking forward to it. I think we've had enough, right? So word to the wise, try walking down any Los Angeles Boulevard carrying 3 boxes of freshly baked donuts without getting a lot of stares. It's either that or my beard is not trimmed today. But either way, I just got these from Sidecar Donuts. There's, I think, every flavor that they had today inside of these, so definitely gonna get more than enough variety in here, and I'm really excited to look forward to seeing which one of these is actually the best donut. And I'm gonna try each one because it's gonna be tough, but for you guys, I'm gonna pull through. All right, so we found a nice quiet place to sit away from all the noise and distraction with a convenient fork and knife. I wonder how that got there. So basically right now we have our donuts here, Sidecar, and I'm gonna open this up and honestly, holy fuck. Before I show this to you, it says right here, these donuts are made with only the finest ingredients using no preservatives or trans fats. They are prepared in small batches to guarantee freshness. No preservatives equals no shelf life. So enjoy them while they are fresh. It's a disclaimer, and you gotta eat these right as you open them. Starting with, of course, maple bacon. So I can already just smell it from here, and it reminds me of like a BLT kind of smell, or even like a quarter pounder with bacon. It smells like a burger, but it's clearly a donut. Now, because I'm eating so many donuts, I'm gonna try to ration my bites a little bit here, so let's see it. Why does that work so well? Wow. First of all, this is the first donut I've had from here. The dough itself, very, very good, very well cooked, very fluffy, not too dense. It's actually pretty light when you eat it. And then the glazing on top isn't too like overzealous to the point where all you're eating is glaze. Definitely great balance. And that bacon, even if it's been here, you know, sitting for a bit, it's still really, really crispy, and it actually goes really, really well. So they play in the glaze and the bacon, and they pair up actually excellently. So next up right here, we have the Buttermilk Old Fashioned, which seems to be a pretty simple, straightforward donut made with buttermilk. Like I said, nice and fluffy. Take a small bite there. Wow. So the dough here tastes a little differently. You definitely get more of a fatty, rich flavor from the dough. And the glaze, even though it's the same one they use throughout, is also lighter too. They put a lot more emphasis, also a little bit of cinnamon into the dough I'm tasting. That's really nice as well. Pretty miles ahead of any other glazed donut you would get from a traditional donut stop like Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme. All right, so next up we have Huckleberry, and you can just see the color of this donut. Just the purple and the pink kind of shining in your face. And look at that little surprise inside. It's got a bit of a berry filling. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bite with both the pink glaze and some filling. Wow. You ever have like a blueberry Pop-Tart? It's like the inside of the blueberry Pop-Tart smeared and also injected inside. So it's kind of a nostalgic flavor for me because I had Pop-Tarts all the time before I went to like middle school. That's really, really good. You don't see very often ring donuts that are filled that nicely. Number 4, we have the Old Fashioned Drops. These are basically their version or the iteration of donut holes like you see in many places, but they're a lot bigger and a lot less spherical. I think they wanted to give it more of like a realistic texture and shape. Oh, that's nice. I think I like that even more than the original buttermilk donut because The fact they're smaller means you get more texture on the outside. And when the glaze is hardened along the outside of a smaller like section, it gives you almost more of a crispy crunch when you bite into it. So that's definitely solid. Next up, springtime cake. And given that we're in the first week of April, it's pretty fitting. I can just feel the nice crackle. Looks like a glazed donut. I'm gonna see if there's any surprise inside. Whoa, there is a surprise inside. It's a birthday cake donut. I'm gonna try get a nice piece of it with glaze, with the inside of it. That's really cool. That's literally like you're eating a birthday cake. I'm not sure how they managed to do that, but this is a different inside than the other donuts. Maybe it's the flavoring, but the sprinkles on top and the glaze. We're in spring, bitches. Now we have the cinnamon crumb. This one's a bit of a chunker. It's an absolute unit of a donut, actually. They really did not hold back with the amount of dough they put into this. It's actually really crumbly too. I can't get a good fork. There we go. All right, let's see how it goes. Oh man, yeah. Almost reminds me of Christmas, just like because of the spices and the cinnamon on top. It's crumbly. It definitely reminds me of a holiday treat you would eat. It's a nice spin on a classic take of a cinnamon crumble, but done extremely well. And you can tell with the flavor inside the dough and the outside covering. Really good. So now we have butter and salt. That's what it's called, butter and salt. That's usually the ingredients that you put before you make a steak, but in this case, it's the flavors for a donut. I almost think there's an entire thing of butter in there. It's almost like they baked butter into it. Good, all right, let's see it. That's messed up in a good way. It's messed up in a really good way. It's like things that shouldn't be there, but they are. And because they are, I have to cope with it. That's a contender for my favorite one so far. That is delicious. This is the Marscapone and Rose donut. This is DLC of the donut world. In other words, donut lovers charades. Mascarpone cheese like you would see inside of a cannoli. Now, it works really well on one pastry, and this one, I'm sure it will also. So I'm gonna open that up really quick. Dip it in there a little bit. There we go, that's a full bite. Whoa. Okay, ton of flavors working in there. Obviously you get the creaminess, the mascarpone, and you get definitely rose. You definitely are tasting a floral notes right there, almost like lavender. It's good. I'm not sure how much I like having that kind of rose lavender in a sweet treat like a donut. This seems like something you would probably order as a dessert in like a more fancier restaurant, somewhere that you've already been eating a lot of intense flavors. But just having it standalone is definitely unexpected, but still pretty good. This is the run-of-the-mill glazed donut that anyone can order. I've tried them and know them, and I just want to see how they compare. This feels like it's like a glaze that they made in-house. They like carefully made it with sugar, a little bit of cream probably. It's better than most glazes that I've had. The fact that they make the dough in-house, it's all really fresh, and then take care of each donut and make sure it's a successful product. It's not too different from the flavors that you've had. It's just, it tastes like a higher quality. This right here is the chocolate snowball. So believe it or not, this is still a donut on my plate. It's not a furry animal. And I remember in gas stations, I think you can still buy the snowballs, or like these treats that you have, traditionally covered in coconut shreds, like right here, and this pink marshmallowy frosting on top. Now, I'm not necessarily big on marshmallow. Never been my favorite thing apart from when it's in s'mores and Lucky Charms. This one is so thick, and look at the inside. The inside is just a chocolate avalanche. Man. Whew. That is all over the place. You have to bite through the coconut, it's a little bit of a chew to it. And the chocolate's nice, it's subtle. And the marshmallow definitely acts as a adhesive for the coconut to stick to the chocolate. But I think it might have actually been more successful without the coconut. I don't know how well it ties into a donut like this because the chocolate's so subtle. And I think if I ate this entire thing, I'd probably almost feel sick afterwards. It's incredibly indulgent. This is roasted pineapple and Thai basil. When I walked into the store, this was my early prediction as to which one I thought would be number one. I'm excited to try it just because how unique it is. Going into it, tiny bit of basil leaf. Got a nice little cross section there. There you go. Nothing too crazy inside, just classic donut. And I think the glaze on the outside is gonna make or break this donut. Let's see. Whoa. Okay. Wow. Right off the bat, it reminds me of a pineapple upside down cake. However, if this was a show chopped, and in chopped they ask you to definitely highlight all the ingredients that are in the basket. If this basket was, you know, pineapple, basil, glaze, and dough, I'm getting the pineapple for sure. I'm getting the glaze, obviously. I'm getting the dough, the sweetness. I'm not getting that basil. Not really quite coming through. Bit of a bummer. However, that pineapple is very, very unique. And if you like anything with pineapple, especially Dole Whip, pineapple upside down cake, this is your donut. Still excellent one. And so we've come to our final donut of this lineup, the Rainbow Berry Pop-Tart. It could be a dark horse. I'm just trying to take a quick look at it right now. Because it's the last donut, I'm gonna take a little bit of a bigger bite. But just looking at it, it looks like a nicely fried donut with lines of glaze, some crumble on top from Pop-Tarts, and what looks like fruity pebbles. No frills on the inside, but the dough looks nice and dense all the way through. Will this be the one to carry me home? Bottoms up. The crunch. That's really, really nice. It's one of the lighter donuts, surprisingly, especially on the inside. It seems more like a Fruity Pebble donut. And I think they would have actually had even more success if they just sort of went away from the Pop-Tart idea and just made a Fruity Pebbles donut. And maybe, you know, throw a few of those, it's like the Fizzle Rocks. What are those called? Pop Rocks? Throw a few Pop Rocks right there. You would have had a nice, really fun experience. So it's like a good starting idea. And I think they could have actually done a way, way more with it, just getting that crunch there as well. But now, as I promised, I had to figure out which one was my least favorite, all the way up to which one I thought was the best donut that I've had in SoCal this weekend. So as I was eating all the donuts, I was taking notes in my phone, because this is a comprehensive, very analytical ranking, and I gotta make sure I know what my list is. So, coming in last place were the Snowball. Like I said, the coconut didn't quite work well with the softness of the chocolate inside, and the frosting just made it all seem a little too indulgent, given that it was marshmallow frosting. Number 11, the Rose Marscapone. It seemed like a very fancy donut, one you would probably order at like a restaurant, but the lavender, almost soapy taste of the rose doesn't quite fit in a donut, in my opinion. Number 10, traditional glaze. Nothing wrong with this donut. It's at least a 7 or above on the rating. It's a good glazed donut. The fact that that one's number 10 speaks for how good the rest of the donuts here were. Right above that, at number 9 is Buttermilk. Buttermilk tasted very, very similar to the glaze. The dough was a little bit different, but a little bit better than the traditional glaze because it has a bit of a nice, richer taste in the dough because of the milk they used. And right above that, at number 8, is the Buttermilk Drops. And of course, the reason that's right above Buttermilk is because the smaller texture of the drops makes it easier to eat and sort of easier to enjoy the texture that the glaze makes when it crumbles around the drops. Number 7, we have the Pop-Tart donut, which I thought was very tasty, but they could have done even better had they focused more on the crunch aspect, especially using either Fruity Pebbles, maybe Pop Rocks. If they were going for that fun theme, it actually would have been maybe top 3 if they went for that. At number 6, we have the Cinnamon Crumble, one of the best takes on a cinnamon donut that I've seen. Would love to eat it during the holidays, would love to eat it with a nice warm cup of coffee, and the texture on top makes it really worthwhile. And now for the top 5. Number 5, I would say the springtime cake. I really love the sprinkles on top. I really love how they actually made the inside actually seem like a birthday cake. That was definitely a big curveball I didn't expect, so I'm really glad I did the cross section first. But I was really impressed as to the illusion of how they made a donut into a birthday cake. Number 4, I have the Thai Basil Pineapple Roasted Donut. To me, that one was really, really good. I didn't get much basil into it, but the fact they were able to successfully incorporate the feeling and the taste of fresh pineapple while you're eating it, sort of like a pineapple upside down cake, that was really, really impressive. At number 3, I chose the Huckleberry. It's got this nice pink purple color to it. When you walk into the store, it catches your eye immediately. And when you bite into it, even though it's a ring donut, they very, very nicely filled it with this nice Huckleberry filling all throughout. At number 2, I actually went with the Maple Bacon Donut. Of course, you guys knew that the moment I tasted it, it was gonna be in the top 2. Amazing how they're able to give you the crunch of bacon, the savoriness and the saltiness of it, merging so well with the glaze and the dough that they use. Which brings us to number 1. Surprisingly, and I didn't expect this by any means, the best donut I had here today, and the best donut that I've had in SoCal thus far, is the butter and salt donut. I'm still not fully sure what I was eating when I went into it. It looks like a slab of butter that was kind of almost half melted in the middle of the donut, but whatever it was so just delicious and decadent to eat. So I gotta give it to the butter and salt donut, a 10 out of 10 for me. And honestly, this place, Sidecar Donuts, really knows how to do it well. So thank you again, SoCal, for another great eating experience. I'm gonna go for a jog. So see you guys later.